Here, the company took matters in its own hands, buying a truck which may not be new, but just right for the tasks at hand.
It spent 8 years in active duty on Staten Island and another 3 as a reserve unit. Then, the 12-year-old Seagrave was sold at 1/10 its original price to the Middle River Volunteer Fire Department. Staten Island and Middle River may be worlds apart, but this is hardly a retirement home, and this truck is expected to handle close to 1,000 calls a year once it's put into service.
Anytime you have heavy industry and tall buildings and so forth, there's a lot more need for ladder trucks because the ladder trucks are the toolbox of the fire department. They have the equipment to do extrication, entry into these buildings, plus we need the ladders to get to the higher structures.
The truck's rehabilitation will cost about $25,000. The cost of equipment and building a new bay on the engine company will bring the total cost of the engine close to $80,000. The fire company has already paid for the engine itself. It's now hoping the community will pitch in to complete the transformation.
Martin Marietta Corporation has already pledged that they're going to support us 100% behind this thing. They're coming in with a large donation. We haven't got the exact size yet, but it's in corporate headquarters, and their money is going to be forthcoming soon. The Wilson Point Ladies organization here has already pledged $500 to buy a rescue saw for us, and we're hoping that the other organizations in the area will also do the same. We have many other major items that need to be purchased for the truck.
The truck's renovation will begin next month. Firefighters have already begun to learn how to operate it. By December, the truck's brief vacation will end, and its second life in emergency service will pick up from there. Frank Bond, Action News 11, Middle River.
What action?
A group of them went on a shopping spree through Maryland, Pennsylvania, and New York, and with $15,000, they bought a used ladder truck.
One of the things that we're going to do with this apparatus before we put it in service is send it to a rehabber. He's going to go over the entire thing, and when it comes back from the rehabber, it's going to be just like new. So therefore, we'll have a life expectancy with the unit of 20 years.
Up until now, the company has had to rely on ladder trucks from other divisions.
We're approximately anywhere from 10 to 15 miles away. One of them's located over by East Point, and the other one's over off of Blair Road. We have to depend on them to come down.
What if they're busy?
If they're busy, we have to depend on the one out of Towson off of York Road.
Hopefully that the damage to a structure will be far less if a truck is on the scene fast enough and can do the job properly.
The fire station will have to be expanded to fit the new truck in. The equipment for it is being purchased from other companies, and the firefighters will have to get accustomed to climbing up 100 feet instead of the 35-foot ladders they've been using. Any qualms about going up 100?
No, man. I think no problem at all. The action's there. What can you say?
Do you think you're going to get a lot of calls for that, particularly in this area?
Yeah. I don't think we'll raise the ladder that much, but we'll be there. When people need us, we'll be there.
The function of the ladder truck is when they get on a fire scene is to make it easier for the firefighters to fight the fire. And they do that by going to the roofs of the structures, opening the roof up, relieving the heat. There's a high amount of heat for the firefighters to go in on an interior fire attack. And the truck's job is to protect the firefighters, really, is to open a roof and allow the firefighters to quickly put out the fire. We have anticipated, just by looking at the run statistics for the area, that this truck will operate somewhere around 500 to 700 calls a year.
Already 20 firefighters in the company are certified to operate this vehicle by the University of Maryland, and others will be going through 120 hours worth of training to get their certification. The fire company hopes to have this ladder truck in service by December 1st of this year. Lynn Alexander, News 2, Middle River.
Today's top.
The county kept cutting it from their budget year after year. They've finally been able to purchase a ladder truck with their own money. But as Lisa Champeau reports, they'll need the public's help to make it usable.
Middle River's 40 volunteer firefighters bought this 12-year-old ladder truck from the New York City Fire Department for $15,000. But they'll have to pump $60,000 into the truck before it's ready for service. And they're asking the community to help them. The ladder truck is used to gain access to buildings, to help ventilate, and of course for search and rescue missions. It may have been a risk to buy this truck without having the money to rehabilitate it, but the company says the community needs it.
There are only 9 ladder trucks in Baltimore County. 7 of them are west of York Road. Only 2 of them are east of York Road. So we just had a bit fire at the Senegal Elementary School. If the ladder truck would have got there sooner, we may have been able to cut down on some of the heat damage inside the building by getting somebody to the roof and open that roof up sooner. One of my firefighters got a steam burn to the side of his face as a result of the high temperature within that building. If the truck would have been there sooner and opened the roof faster, that probably would not have happened.
Truck driver Scott Yard volunteers 20 hours a week to the fire company. He says the 100-foot ladder is basically in good shape, but the body of the truck needs major work, a paint job, insulation, and new seats, for example. But ultimately, it will still cost less than a brand new truck.
When you look at buying one for 15 and putting 50, 60 into it, compared to a $300,000 cost, we've decided that our best way to go would be to refurbish one.
If they don't raise the money through donations, the volunteers say they'll take out a loan, and no matter what, they'll have this truck in service by December 1st of this year. But the hope is that the community will come through. I'm Lisa Champeau, Channel 13 Eyewitness News in Middle River.
Of being turned down by the county for funds to buy a hook and ladder truck, the members took matters into their own hands and bought a 12-year-old truck from the New York City Fire Department. Well, it cost them $15,000, but the firefighters say they need it.
There are only 9 ladder trucks in Baltimore County. 7 of them are west of York Road. Only 2 of them are east of York Road. So we just had a fire at the Sunnyvale Elementary School. If the ladder truck would have got there sooner, we may have been able to cut down on some of the heat damage inside the building by getting somebody to the roof and open that roof up sooner.
The company still needs another $60,000 to make the truck roadworthy and is asking the community for help.